Hello, everyone. I guess we'll just start with
We'll be just starting in
proceedings.
Let's wait for participants to join. All right, let's start. Hello everyone and Assalamu alaikum. I'm Abbas and I will be hosting today's webinar session. First of all, I would like to welcome you all on behalf of DICE Analytics to the round 8 of webinar series, Explore the World of Data Visualization with Khalid Ahmad. I am glad to introduce our speaker today, Mr. Khalid Ahmad, who will be leading this event. Mr. Khalid Ahmad is currently working at Omantel as a senior specialist data analytics. He has 7+ years of experience in the relevant domain with a demonstrated experience implementing end-to-end data science and business intelligence solutions in the telecommunication industry. Thorough research experience with MS focused in predictive analysis. In today's session, you will be exploring about the data visualization and who should have these skills. He will also explain about different type of visuals. You will also know about top leading analytical tools in the market. You will have a walkthrough of Tableau, Power BI, and MicroStrategy desktop. You will also be guided about how to kickstart your career in the field of data analytics and visualization. It's a request to all the attendees to note your questions during the session and ask your queries in the Q&A session at the end. Thank you so much. Over to Mr. Khalid.
So, how's everyone here? I would like to keep this session interactive. So, first of all, if we can start with what are the expectations which everyone who is joining us from this session, what they think, what they gain, and what's probably their path that they want to follow, and they think it might be helpful for them to go through these learnings. So, will someone want to tell what they expect out of this? Because I want this session to be interactive one, instead of me just telling you the things, because everyone has their experiences and learnings, and we should actually go with that. So, Imran Khan. Yes, Imran, what? Yes, Imran, we can hear you now.
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर।
वालेकुम अस्सलाम।
सर मैं लास्ट सेशन जो सर अली साहब का था वो भी मैंने अटेंड किया था। मैंने एक क्वेश्चन पूछा था कि जो करंट एक कोई जॉब कर रहे हैं, मैं जैसे एक यूनिवर्सिटी में एग्जामिनेशन की जॉब कर रहा हूँ, तो मैंने 2.5 से पहले एक पाइथन का जो इनिशियल प्रिलिमिनरी कोर्स था 3 वीक्स का, वो मैंने अटेंड किया था और उस पर जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग थी वो मुझे हो गई थी। वैसे मेरा बैकग्राउंड भी BSIT का है, मैंने BSIT किया हुआ है 2015 में। तो मैं अपना करियर जो है वो शिफ्ट करना चाह रहा हूँ। इसके लिए मुझे कोई 4 बजे के बाद कोई इंटर्नशिप टाइप या कोई ऐसी प्लेसमेंट मिल सकती है जहाँ पे मैं थोड़ा सा ताकि एक्सपीरियंस जो है वो शो कर सकूँ और फिर मैं अपना करियर जो है स्विच कर सकूँ।
Okay, thanks for raising your concern, Imran. Let's focus on, like, obviously इसके ऊपर we can talk later because this won't be relevant to what we'll be talking now. And obviously you can reach out to people in the DICE and they might be able to help you, inshallah. So, Mashal, what are your expectations from the session today? We can hear you. Are you saying something, Mashal? Okay. Abbas Ansari. So what's your Abbas, what is your expectation for today?
ओके जी, अस्सलाम वालेकुम जी, थैंक यू सो मच जी आपका भी और डाइस का कि उन्होंने इतना अच्छा ये प्लेटफॉर्म दिया है। ओके, मैं एक्चुअली ऑलरेडी इन कंसल्टिंग फील्ड में हूँ, आई एम सीए एफिलिएट हूँ, मैं सीपीए हूँ और फाइनेंशियल फोरकास्टिंग और इस तरह की जो भी सर्विसेज हैं पाकिस्तान में प्रिवेल कर रही हैं फाइनेंशियल की, हम ऑलरेडी ऑफर कर रहे हैं हम लोग ना। तो लेकिन मैं एज ए पर्सनल थोड़ा सा इसमें ब्लेंड लाना चाह रहा हूँ कि एनालिटिक्स का, और इसीलिए मुझे जब ये सेमिनार्स मैंने देखे तो मैं ये पहला सेमिनार अटेंड कर रहा हूँ जी आज ना। इससे पहले मैंने यूट्यूब पे और वैसे जो कोर्स अवेलेबल है नेट पे वो सर्च किए हैं, उनको जरा देखा है, लेकिन मैं इसे एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूँ कि मैं इसको एज ए बेसिक्स के तौर पे समझूं और टूल्स को फिर आगे साथ लेकर चलूं, ताकि मैं अपना एक इसमें भी एक स्पेशलिटी ऐड कर सकूं अपने स्किल सेट के अंदर। थैंक यू सो मच।
Perfect. That makes most sense actually. The right approach is to not to lock yourself to a technology, but to learn the process itself, because the process is what makes the most sense. Now, Ahmad.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you, Ahmad?
I'm fine. First of all, thank you for this great session. And I want to know from you that if we, my question is, if we go to an organization and we have organization having the people that don't know about the visual, what is data visualization, what is data analytics, and they ask me to deploy the BI ecosystem in their organization. So there are a lot of tools in available in the market, like the Tableau, Power BI, blah blah blah. So it's difficult for me to convince them that which tool we should use, whether we use the whether we should go to the ad hoc reporting or to the Power BI and the Tableau, or we should go to the web-based reporting, like integrated visuals through the JavaScript and the Python. So it's difficult for me. For me, it's difficult to decide and to convince them which tool we use and which graph we use and why we use.
Okay, that's actually good to know. If we focus on these things, we'll probably be covering some of this, like what visuals to be used on what times, and obviously there are multiple visuals that you can use for a single task that you want to achieve, and then it comes to choosing which one makes the most sense to remove the monotony, to keep the scheme of the data or the visual dashboard and all that coherent. And then there is the first thing that you said, which tool to resort to, which tool we should be considering for the organization, whether we should be going for ad hoc, whether we should be going for web-based reporting or something like that. So that's pretty subjective. It's mostly about, it should start with what you want out of your ecosystem, what insights you want to look at, what actually you want to achieve in terms of business actionability and all those things. So ad hoc is generally an integral part of this BI ecosystem, because there always will be something that you do not have, you didn't make before. So you'll have to go implement it again. And there always will be some tweaking and all that. And then there are canned reports and all those things for which you can actually rely on canned dashboards, periodic dashboard reports, and all those things. So the tool is mostly dependent upon the licensing they offer, the people, and the budget of the organization, and what things they offer, whether I'm looking for an enterprise level tool or whether I'm looking for those which are more visually pleasing. And these are the things that we need to answer before getting to that. So in this webinar series, if I tell you, let's move forward actually. Thanks for your time and thanks for your input. I am actually going to start with now what we are going to cover in this webinar, so we know what is the agenda of the today. So what we are going to cover is, like we all know, data visualization is in trend, data analytics is in trend, data science. These are the buzzwords in the industry nowadays. So what we want here is that data science in the previous webinar, no code data science and all those things Ali has covered. Many things are covered already. So in this session, we primarily focus on the kind of visualization that we can use and how we can use them and how they can bring value. And at the same time, why they're important, we'll start with that. And then eventually we'll take an overview of few of the market leading BI tools like Tableau, everyone would have heard of, Power BI, and MicroStrategy, maybe not everyone would have heard of because it's not that common in the industry because it's an enterprise level tool and most people do not resort to it. And then we'll have a discussion actually how to build a career in data analytics because it's a subjective thing. Because whatever I'll say will be from my experience, my learning, what I have been doing in the industry. And that's not the everything. Like everyone can have their own experience and they can add their own input to what makes more sense. So I'm open to your suggestion because it's better we both learn, inshallah. So let's move to the next slide. Why data visualization is important? This is the question that we need to ask. And the answer primarily rests on this thing that if we talk of human psychology, if you people can have your own experiences as well. Whenever you go to the market or something, if there is a board where you have tens of instructions written in bullet points, will you be able to grasp them on the go? Or will you actually be spending time to read all those? Or will you want a board which has 10 pictorial depiction, 10 visual depictions of those instructions? So primarily, visualization is important because human brain acquires data more quickly and grasp information more quickly through visuals. Because if we talk of in our surroundings, we look to the left, we see maybe a door, a cupboard, or something like that, and we register those things in our mind. It's natural to us. And then there are things like if I start reading a book, I'll have to go through for a long time, and then eventually I might make up some picture, and I still will be losing much of information. For example, if we see one thing that we said, human brain is programmed to respond to visuals better compared to the text or verbal communication and all those things. Secondly, most information that human acquires is naturally through non-verbal means, that is through visuals. That is, for example, our eyes are operating all the time. And our eyes are looking at different things. You can see, you may be looking at a watch, you may look at a car, you're registering all those things, regardless you are putting in an effort or not. For example, I have written these 3 bullet points here, but if you see this 80% and 20%, just because it's different in color, this would have caught your attention because our brain is programmed to distinguish between patterns. So when there is a different pattern, which is altogether different from the general things around, it's going to register that and grasp that quickly. Like as we know, as we can see, I just came across this fact recently. People remember up to 80% of what they see in comparison to 20% of what they read. Like when you read a book, you will probably able to grasp 20% of what you have read. And when you see, when it is visual depiction in contrast with obviously the tags, names and things, it will make you retain almost 80% of that. That's natural to human brain. So this is why data visualization is very important and core to the BI domain, the data science domain, because whatever you do with the data, you actually want to bring out the insights, and based on that, there are to be actions that are to be done. So next, we'll move to the other section. Before that, Anyone wants to share their opinion about what we have just talked? Yes, brother.
Well, Assalamu alaikum. Just to mention that data visualization जो है वो एक important part है. But the concern is क्या हमारे industry के अंदर data visualization को interpret करने के लिए जो skill set required है क्या वो available है?
That's a good question actually. It's again, there are people who can and then there are people who cannot, maybe. So like in my entire career, let me just tell you one thing. In my entire career, mostly whatever I have delivered, it has been circling around bar chart and line chart. And that's because most visualization people cannot grasp. So your question is pretty valid.
Well, जो चीज़ मैं करना चाह रहा हूँ, I am also currently doing the things in the same field, but the major thing is डेटा के जो विजुअल्स आप यूज़ कर रहे होते हैं वो डेटा की एट्रीब्यूट्स या वेरिएबल्स के हिसाब से चेंज होते रहते हैं. लेट्स से अगर आपने एक ट्रेंड एनालिसिस दिखाना है, आप एक ट्रेंड एनालिसिस को एक लाइन चार्ट में ज़्यादा अच्छे तरीके से दिखा सकते हैं एज कम्पेयर टू बार चार्ट. उसके बाद उसी ट्रेंड एनालिसिस को दिखाने के लिए 10 तरह के और विजुअल्स हैं. तो हाउ कैन वी आइडेंटिफाई कि हमें किस डेटा के लिए कौन सा विजुअल बेस्ट तौर पे यूज़ करना चाहिए? लाइक इसकी भी बेंचमार्किंग है या हिट एंड ट्रायल बेसिस के ऊपर हम लोग इसको चेक कर सकते हैं?
I won't say it's benchmarking here for this. I would say it's more of experiential learning. You have your audience, you know which visual they understand better. For example, if someone is coming from finance background, probably they'll be able to want to add monotony to your data, your dashboards, your video infographics and all those things. I won't want that I create a dashboard where I have all the line charts. I would want to have a mix of line chart, maybe pie chart, maybe bar chart, based on what's required.
Yeah, obviously.
So yes, so that's actually a combination of like there are times you can achieve both the things with two different visuals, but you want different visuals to be used on the like you have two visuals on the dashboard maybe, and both can be achieved by line chart or bar chart, for example. Okay, you still might want to go for one bar chart and one line chart because that will remove the monotony on the dashboard. So it's a subjective thing. We cannot have an absolute, or there is no benchmark for this. Like we have in databases, there is.
Great, thank you.
Something here?
Khalid sahab, we are unable to hear you.
Yeah, there is so much voice break. I was not sure whether it's my side or from your side.
Okay, just a second. Let me just. I hope you can hear me better now.
Yes.
Yeah, seems yet it to be fine.
Okay, perfect. So anyone wants to add something here, or we can move forward?
Well, currently I am समझ लें कि बस मैं रेसलिंग कर रहा हूँ मैप के साथ, हीट मैप के साथ, और जो चीज़ मैं बनाना चाह रहा हूँ वो बन नहीं रही है. So I'm just making some hit and trials की जो चीज़ मैं चाह रहा हूँ मैं इससे एक्सट्रैक्ट कर सकूँ. Like there is a sales data, और उस sales data को मैंने लोकेशन के ऊपर, हर लोकेशन के ऊपर और हर लोकेशन के अलावा हर सिटी वाइज लोकेशन के ऊपर ब्रेक करना है। अब हो क्या रहा है, अगर तुम उसको यूएस के ऊपर बनाते हो ना, तो यूएस के ऊपर वो परफेक्टली फाइन ठीक काम कर रहा है, लेकिन अगर तुम उसको पाकिस्तानी लोकेशन के ऊपर बनाते हो ना, तो वो उसको बिल्कुल इसकी शक्ल ही चेंज करके रख देता है। तो आई एम जस्ट स्ट्रगलिंग कि हम लोग इसको फर्दर किस तरह से रिफाइन कर सकते
Which tool are you using for that?
हैं। इट्स पावर बीआई।
Okay, so like we can have probably we can discuss on it later after we are concluding the session. Hopefully, if you probably you'll have done it before that, but if not, we can discuss at that time.
Sure.
Okay, I guess we should move forward. Now we'll actually, I'll just make you people see some of the visuals that are commonly used. Not commonly, commonly we generally resort to common visuals like pie chart, bar chart, and line chart, something like that. But there are visuals that are used in certain cases, like the Badr was mentioning about a heat map that he's trying to use. So it has its own significance. So let's go explore some visuals, and based on that, we can try and learn what visualization can add to our information deliverance and actionability. So here it is, the first visual, a bubble chart. If you see, like we have two axes here. Both the axes have the measure value. One is the unit sold measure on the left side on y-axis, and then the revenue measure on the x-axis. And then there is this thing, the categorization is based on the region. So, and the bubble size is defined based on the unit sold value. The maximum the value, the greater the bubble size. So what we see here is that it, like if we see there is quite a bit information in this visual. For example, I can quickly see, and currently obviously this is just a visual without any tagging, but if it is in MicroStrategy, Power BI, or Tableau, you just hover over it and you will see the name of the category. It's easier to read by hovering instead of looking on the legend. So you can do that actually in such cases. And if we see overall the trend in this graph, the increase in units sold is directly proportional to the increase in revenue value. As long like whenever the revenue increase, the units sold increase. So that means there's a linear relationship between units sold and revenue. So these are such some information that we can achieve from this. And like currently we are using bubble chart. You could have used a heat map as well here. Like we'll be moving forward to the next visualization, which is the heat map. In the heat map visualization, we are projecting sale and profit by outlet and region. And what we see here is this on the top, this layer, Northeast, Web, Central, South, Middle, Atlantic, Southwest, Southeast, Northwest. These are the regions, and these are the outlets, New York, Web, Milwaukee, and all those things. If you see, we can, the things that are being of importance here, that is the size. Size is reflecting the profit rank. Size is reflecting the sale value, actually. If we see here, the size is for the sale value, and the color is reflecting in the rank of profit. For example, if the color is extreme purple, it's San Francisco in this case, we'll be actually we'll be having the most profit value, but the revenue value will be lesser. But in case of New York, we'll have least profit, but the sales are maximum. So these are such information that we can see from the heat map. So I'll again want to ask someone Akib wants to ask something. Yes, Akib.
Yeah, I don't know if you have already answered it or not. My name is Akib. I'm currently working for Convergent Business Technologies. So I'm new to the field, but I have done masters in data science. But I want to know that if BI is different from reporting or it's the same thing. In visualization, we're using dashboards and these things. But I I generally want to know we are using BI with the reporting thing. Is those are correlated or something like that, or these are different things or the same thing?
Okay, there is, and let me just explain in a bit. BI is a broader domain, or data science, if we say BI analytics and data science, they are broader domains, and there are subdomains. Like BI includes reporting. BI is actually about bringing insights from your data and actionable insights, which will enable the business to achieve whatever they want to achieve in their organizational goals. Okay, so for that, reporting is also the part of BI. Like you can have a grid. Like grid is also a type of visualization where you can have region in this region value in the column, and then outlet in the column, and then sale value subsequently over there to see the numbers. So you can have reports in that form as well. Then you can have visual reports as well, where you have such heat maps or any other visualization based on that, based on which you can see the numbers. So it's like any reporting or anything is part of the BI. It's just that it's a different way of depicting. Like when there are cases, like mostly when you deal with finance teams, they would want a grid visualization. That is, they would want raw data kind of, again, so they can see exact values and track the behavior and all those things. And when you'll go to commercial teams, for example, product design team or something, they would want trends. And for trends, you would generally rely on visuals instead of the raw data reports or something like that. Hope I answered the question right.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let's move to the next slide. Now, let's see, this is, as we discussed, the most commonly used visualizations are bar charts and line charts. So this is a bar chart, which is having two categories. That is one, the category itself, and then the quarter. So these are the two groupings. If we talk in terms of data, there are two groups against which there is one measure, revenue measure that is being used. So if we see, we can see that on x-axis, on y-axis, we have revenue, and on y-axis we have quarter, and as well as the values on y-axis are broken by category and quarter. Actually, category is also there. So for example, for 2017 Q1, we have 45 million for pipeline, and least is for closed category and something like that. So this is a bar chart, basic bar chart, and then there are different ways of visualizing a bar chart. We'll be able to see those in the coming slides. Now this is the same information, category versus quarter, same information is depicted, but what this bar chart does, this is bringing more value in a sense that this tells me that quarter, I can just on the go, in the first glimpse, I know that 2017 Q1 performed the best, and 2017 Q4 was the worst. Okay, and then I can just on the go, like without anything, I just know those numbers. And at the same time, there is one more way of looking at this, and that is this is actually called stacked bar chart. That every category value within this quarter is stacked over the top of each other. And this one is stacked bar chart in percentage. So this actually, what it does is it reflects, if you see all the values, all the quarters have similar size and the bar sizes are similar. No one is smaller, but the value within that category is different. So it is actually like how most percentage contribution to 2017 Q1 was from pipeline. That is what we can identify from this. So in this, we can see in 2017 Q4, both commit and pipeline both contributed similar value. And if we see this one, we see that obviously most value was this. So in my personal opinion, in such situation where we are not looking on the these are not percent values, we are looking for the absolutes, I would want to resort to this bar chart. This is the first one, stacked bar chart, instead of this one or this one, because this is giving more information in an appropriate manner. So if anyone else has any other reason for choosing something different, they can tell me. Anyone want to share their opinion?
I might use pie chart to show the share of each quarter.
Perfect. Currently, I was just comparing. We'll compare pie chart and bar chart in coming slides as well, where to use pie chart and where to buy.
We may create a tree map, or
again, brother, you are pretty right. You can use many visualizations. So currently, I like the case here was that I was just trying to show the same information to you, where you can have it plotted in different manners. And then again, it will come down to what you want to look at, based on which you will choose which of these bar charts or which in an entirely different visualization that you want to. Like you were saying, you would want to resort on pie.
Like as per my little understanding, down the line, it all comes to the point like who are going to look into these reports, like आपकी audience कौन है. अगर आपने CEO level के ऊपर एक report present करनी है, तो उसके लिए आपको सिर्फ top line view चाहिए. तो obviously उसका जो chart होगा वो different होगा. अगर आपने mid level पे show करनी है, वो थोड़ी detail में होगी. Obviously उसका breakdown या उसका spread थोड़ा different होगा. तो उसके लिए visual थोड़ा सा different होगा. तो आपकी वाली बात बिल्कुल ठीक है, मुझे बिल्कुल click की है कि it depends कि आपकी audience कौन है जिन्होंने इस view को देखना है, और उससे जो चीज उन्होंने इंटरप्रेट करनी है, क्या वो वहां पे इनको मिलेगी या नहीं.
Sure, actually it because you are working in the BI domain by yourself, so you would know one thing. It's about whom you are selling a thing to, because if you don't know the psychology of the person whom you are creating or building a dashboard for, you'll probably build a very good dashboard and it will fail because it won't help that person. So it's the best that you understand the psychology of your audience and what is a do for them and what is a don't for them. So that's the best thing. Like regarding this data, you said we can go for pie. Yes, we can, but we have two categories here. I'll probably go for this because visually a bar chart, like in this case, obviously it doesn't hurt much, but visually a bar chart is more discriminant in different categories compared to a pie chart when the margins are lesser. We have that example in coming slides as well. So we'll move forward and we'll look at that as well, inshallah. Thanks for your input, brother. Okay, now it's a basic line chart. So line charts are generally very good to look for the trend. Like Badr himself also added something like this, that line charts are good for trend analysis. Because if someone of you have already worked on forecasting numbers and things, so generally whenever you are forecasting, it's better to go for a line chart, which will actually add a trend line and then build the data and all those things. So currently, if we see on this line chart, it shows a profit trend by month, and it's for, like, I guess I have missed the legend here for years. It should have been here. The legend should have been here because this is different year. This is different year. This is probably 2017, 18, and 19. So just on the go, we can see that every single year we are growing. But the problem here is in 2017, we ended very well, but we started in 2018 very low. Okay, so it's evident from this. And then there is one more option in the line chart, which is a dual axis. When you are looking more than one KPI, for example, you might be looking for revenue and profit. revenue is altogether a different thing. You might be having more revenue but lesser profit, because profit percentage is something different. It's the margin between revenue and actual cost of that product. So in that case, you might be using dual axis, like this is x-axis one and then y-axis one, and then here it might be revenue that you would plot and something like that. So primarily line charts are good for looking trends on the go. So here we are at a pie chart. Now for pie chart, if we see, there are two things. One is the slices and one is the color. Color represents the category. For example, web is referring to the color actually. And the slice size is referring to the category. Slice size is referring to the revenue value. Okay. So for example, we see for Southwest, it has this value. Like if it were in Power BI or Tableau, we could have a tooltip that when we hover over it, we would see what value Northeast has. But we can visually see that Northeast is the region which is bringing the most revenue. And we can visually tell that Northwest is the region which is bringing in the least value. So when there is when there is good margin between revenues or values of a measure in against a category, then it's better to use a pie chart, because else you will end up with a visualization which will not be that easily readable. For example, we move to next slide where we'll see a comparison between a pie chart and a bar chart. Here we see it's the same data like for pie chart and the same data for bar chart. If we see it's difficult to distinguish what is higher, Charleston or Atlanta. Like if I look very closely, I'll probably be able to identify which one is greater. But it's difficult out there, like on the first go, when I look the first time, that I be able to answer these things, that which one, Miami or Atlanta or Charleston, which one is greater. But if on the right side, we look on the similar bar chart for same data, it is easily knowable that Atlanta is the least, and then it is Miami, and then Charleston, Boston. So there are times when you need to resort to bar chart instead of pie chart, and then there are times you would want to choose pie chart. So when there is a little difference in measure values for different categories, you will probably resort to the bar chart. Before we move forward, anyone want to add their experience, their learning from their career, their anything that they want to add here?
Hey, hi there. So, am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. So, I want to know that if your graphs are like simple and more easier to understand, or your graphs like complex but it's cool on the eyes. What is your preference on that?
Actually, again, as we already discussed, it's always about the audience. For example, if I'm building something which is to be consumed by maybe a data scientist who actually knows how to do these things, probably maybe he knows to do these things better than me. So if I put complex visuals and things which have maybe information about more than 5 measures or 5 points or 5 values or something like that in one single visualization, he'll probably be able to look at that and understand that. And at the same time, if you are referring to you are building something for someone who probably is not versant in these things, you'll probably go for simplistic visualization, maybe bar chart, line chart, pie chart, something like that. And at the same time, there is one more thing to it. It's not always about if the person can understand or not. It's sometimes about whether you want someone to be able to understand easily or difficultly. There are people who want to have more details. For those people, you'll probably resort to a complex visualization, which will offer more details, but the visualization because of that will be complex. And then there are people who want, like, for example, a GM of a product design team, if we talk of him, he'll probably be wanting to see quick numbers, and based on that, he'll advise people in their team, and they'll probably want the more detailed numbers to look where things went up or down. For example, there was a drop in some product. He would want to see that easily in a line chart. He can see, okay, the subscription went down for this product on this specific day. He'll just call out to his managers, and he'll go look into those things. So it's generally a subjective thing. You cannot say that it's an absolute or there's a benchmark. It's mostly about an agreement between those who are developing or building these visualizations and dashboards and those who will be actually consuming these visualizations and dashboards. Because at the end of the day, if someone who has to consume it or who has to use for their purpose, if they are not in agreement and if they cannot use it for what they wanted, then it's no use. It's waste of effort and time in that case. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So anyone else want to ask something? Okay, let's move forward then. And now this is a network visualization. This is a little tricky visualization. It has few information elements which I'll explain. The size of this node, this represents, sorry, this represents the margin value, whether the margin is greater or lesser, okay? And then these are the edges, these are directed edges. This generally network visualization is used when you have to look the relationship between a higher category to the lower category. For example, if this is obviously for demonstration purpose, so I put the simple one, but you can have a complex data where you have actually maybe 5-6 regions, and you have maybe 5-6 products that are sold in each region. So you'll have a network visualization where your region will be there and your products will be there in that visualization, and from region it will be directed to product, and the size of this node, the region node, will mean the value at the region level, and the size of this node, the product node, will mean the value at the what you say product level. And at the same time, there is one more thing to it actually. If you see, there is the color and the weight of the edges as well. For example, this is darker, right? And this is lighter. So this means that percentage of revenue from this to this was 80 to 100%. Like Eastern to electronics, the revenue percentage was 80 to 100%. And for Eastern to music, the revenue percentage was 0 to 20. Okay. So this is like the edge weight can, edge color can help us identify those things. And generally, it's better to use color and weight itself, because when you put the weight of edge, it's easily descriptive, because if I had kept the weights similar, it would be difficult to identify which one is greater, which one is lesser, and something like that. And when you implement it, I actually did implement this one in MicroStrategy workstation. So if you implement it there, you'll probably be able to see the weights by hovering over the edges and the nodes and all those things. So that's how it works. Anyone want to ask something about this or want to add something that they have tried before? Yes, Farooq.
Okay. शायद मैंने मिस किया हो.
Yes,
I just wanted to ask if is this a visualization type like network visualization, like in Tableau or in Power BI? Is this a visualization type?
Yes, it's a visualization type. I have not used it in Tableau or Power BI. I didn't see it there. Probably it would be like you can add it because you can add custom visualizations as well in any tool. So I was using this in MicroStrategy. So it's a type, basically it's something like SNA, if you heard of social network analysis or something like. So it's basically network, like from one getting one level to the other level, how it relates, it becomes a network, something like that.
Oh, okay, fine. Thank you.
Perfect. Jazakallah. Yes, Akib. Akib, do you want to say something?
No, it's from the previous one.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
May I ask?
Yes.
ओके शायद मैंने मिस किया हो, काइंडली बताइएगा कि ये जो नेटवर्क विजुअलाइजेशन है ये स्पेसिफिकली किस तरह के डाटा में यूज होता है जी?
Okay, that's what I explained. I'll explain again. It's generally like, if you see what the example here, when I'm using it's the region, you can say, and then this is the category books, what is sold in that region. Okay. So generally it's from a higher level to top level, how those levels are related. For example, I'll give you an example where we have region and there are multiple products. For example, I have an organization which has 4 regions, region 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then they have the organization is offering 5 products in every single region, and total products are 5. So how region 1 is, how those products are performing within that region will be, this is currently the simplistic form of this visualization where I have put only one region, and it is resolving to the underlying what we say product categories. So there can be a case where you'll have 2 regions and it will be resolving to these same 4 categories, because you have these 4 products and you'll have more edges between each node. And those edges will represent how they are relating to each other, how the higher region is resolving to the lower values.
So it means this type of visualization is more better in sales and commercialization data?
It's generally, yes. I'll preferably use it.
Okay.
If I have to use, I would use it in, for example, I want to track region-wise product performance, I'll use this. So something like that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Jazakallah. Okay, anyone else want to add something, or we move forward? Okay, let's move forward then. This is a histogram visualization. Like mostly we do not use this in like commercial analysis and all. It's generally used to check, and like it's probably part of a data science life cycle when you are understanding the data and all those things, what thing is occurring, how many times, and something like that. So it's generally used there, but here I have implemented it for count of customers in every slab. For example, this is a revenue slab, 0 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 150. These are the slabs, and how many customers are in each slab. So this actually tells me that most customers that I have are low revenue customer, which actually I as a business person won't want. I would want to have people with high revenue. So you can have histogram visualization to see how whatever the measure you are looking for, how it is, how the penetration of any product or any specific measure, maybe revenue, product uptake or something like that, is in your base and something like that. So anyone want to add something regarding this?
Yeah, I want to add. I want to ask that if there is a bar chart and if there is a histogram, what is the main difference between them? Because I always confuse.
Perfect. A bar chart has to have some categories against which you'll see some measure. And in histogram case, you don't have any category. It's just a measure which is maybe binned. I have put the name revenue slab. It's the bins that you make. For example, I have the revenue, and I have revenue which is like maybe 0 to 1,000 is the range of my revenue, and every person gives me a revenue within this range in the month. So I can have bins on the revenue value, and based on that, I'll just see the count of people who are giving revenue in which bin. For example, if I see in this one, most people are those which are giving revenue between 50 and 100. So these are the things. So it's generally about one single measure that you are looking for. Yes, Tadina Malik, how are you?
Thank you so much. But I'm still confused in histogram specifically. Can you please quote some other example instead of this example where we use histogram?
Okay. For example, you want to see, you have a data and it shows maybe what we say is, you have a data of maybe sales data, and you want to see which is like you have the data for sales against customer. For example, if I'm talking of a B2B organization, which actually gives services to some other business client, and there are number of sales that they make every month and year or something like that. And I want to check how they are performing and like which, how many customers are in against the number of sales. So what I'll do is I'll put the measure, that is sales in year or whatever, that's dimension, and that's not an issue. So I will bin the data. Maybe I have, for example, the maximum sale that I could have in a month is capped at 1,000, and the minimum could be capped at 10. So what I'll do is I'll make the bins, and bins generally, like if we'll try this in Tableau as well. So generally we do not make bins by ourselves. It's the BI tool, it makes it by itself smartly, but we can obviously do it by ourselves as well. So what it will do is it will make the bins maybe 10 to 90, 10 to 100 is one bracket, and the occurrences of sales in that bracket. So how many customers had 10 to 100 sales? So it will be the count of customer. On y-axis, you see the count of customers against the bin of that measure. So this is the measure, and this is the occurrences in that data. Okay, so 50 to 100, for example, if we say this 50 to 100 is sales, then 50 to 100 sales were made to total 45 customers. They were falling in the bracket of 50 to 100 sales. So what it tells is that, like if I see in this data, most people are going for lesser number of sales. Here it is revenue. So it's actually like I would want as a business to maximize my sales or revenue or profit. So I can see by looking at this histogram, I can tell that I'm not doing good. Maybe I should push and I should sell more things, or I should somehow increase my revenue to achieve my targets. I hope I could explain.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Kashif.
I wanted to know why we have used the color. I can see that at start it's light, and after it's 650, 700, it's getting dark. I mean, what this color represents?
Color is representing the revenue value. For example, if you see it's revenue slab, so the increase in revenue increase the color. So the lighter the color means the revenue is the lesser, but the customers, those are giving that revenue are greater. Customer count is represented by the y-axis, and color variance represents the increase in revenue.
But it can be easily, we can see that easily by seeing the y-axis. So why we are adding the extra color feature in that?
Okay, like revenue, obviously we can see in the bin. We might not add it, but it's generally, again, there is one more thing to the visualization that you make. If you will make, probably we'll go to Tableau and implement this as well. So we'll see whether it looks better that way or not. So it's generally, you have this information as 50, 100, 150, 200. It already tells me that on the x-axis, the revenue is increasing. But looking here on the color, it actually, like, it's visually more pleasing maybe. When we go there, we'll try, or obviously it's a choice. It's like you may not want to do that, or you may want to do this instead. You may want to change the color and remove the value on the x-axis and put the legend here for colors, something like that. So it's the choice that you want to make at that time.
Got it.
Thank you. So let's move forward. So this was it for the visual that we covered here. Anyone want to add something regarding their experience with any of these visuals or anything, or we should actually move to the next stage where we'll discuss some of the leading VA tools. Yes, Siptan. Siptan. Okay.
जी आवाज़ आ रही है आपको मेरी?
जी अब आ रही है।
मैं ये पूछना चाह रहा था कि अभी तक जितनी भी आपने ये विजुअलाइजेशंस बताई हैं, ये तो एक मतलब इसमें सिर्फ एक ये नेटवर्क जो विजुअलाइजेशन थी जिसमें नेटवर्क एनालिसिस टाइप होता, तो वो एक डिफरेंस थी। बट अब जैसे जैसे टाइम मतलब चेंज होता जा रहा है, तो हमारी जो मोस्टली जो ऑडियंस होती है ना, अब वो ये बार चार्ट्स और लाइन चार्ट से हट के कुछ डिफरेंट देखना चाहती हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल अभी जैसे उसकी आपने सेल्स की बात की, तो इज देयर एनीथिंग के जो हम उसको मैप के ऊपर दिखा सकें, जो हमारे नॉर्मली एजरी मैप्स होते हैं या गूगल मैप्स जो हम होते हैं नॉर्मली, उसके ऊपर दिखाना चाहेंगे जी हमारा दैट सपोज इस्लामाबाद का रीजन है, वहाँ पे सेल्स की क्या कंडीशन है, इसी तरह कराची में किस तरह होगा, पेशावर में किस तरह होगा, तो उसको
perfect. I did not cover it on purpose for the reason that I did not have maps configured in my machine, but I have one of the dossier implemented with me. I'll probably moving to the next section when we actually look how things work in different tools. I'll show you that, and based on that, obviously you can add your value, because it's a map. It's for US obviously, where we have different layers, and for each layer it's giving different information. So yes, map visualization is very important, and it's commonly used in most organizations where probably things are on the region level or something like that. So we can look into it when we move forward. I'll show you that.
ठीक हो गया। अच्छा, एडिशन टू दिस ये बताएं कि मतलब ठीक है, एक बंदे ने मतलब बहुत अच्छा डैशबोर्ड डिज़ाइन किया, विजुअलाइजेशन भी परफेक्टली यूज़ की, उसमें मुझे बताएं कि कितना इम्पोर्टेंट है कि आप कितने अच्छे स्टोरी टेलर हो। क्या वो डेटा एनालिटिक्स की ज़रूरत है कि आप उसी तरह स्टोरी भी आप अच्छे तरीके से बयान कर सको? बेशक आपने बहुत अच्छे तरीके से वो डैशबोर्ड बनाया हो, बट अगर स्टोरी अगर सही प्रॉपर आपने डिफाइन ना की, तो आई गेस कि वो सारा मतलब आपकी जितनी भी एफर्ट होती है नल एंड वाइड हो जाती है। तो ये बताएं कि ये स्टोरी टेलिंग का कितना कोई पार्ट है डेटा एनालिटिक्स के अंदर?
I guess that's everything, because if you cannot explain well what you have done, then probably you'll fail. Probably, like if I have maybe if I have, like if we talk of Rolls-Royce, they build the best car, the best luxury car, right? And if they do not know how to market that, how to tell people what it holds in it, then probably it will not be sold. So the storytelling part is the most important. Whatever you make, it's only sold, it's only consumed when you actually bridge the gap between what you did and what the audience wanted. So you need to do the two things for that. First, you need to know what you are making and whom you are making it for. And then you need to create a story in your mind, which you will agree with, obviously, the audience, that this is what we are making and this is what you know. For example, generally it starts with, like back in UFON when I was working there, we started working on something like to implement triggers, that based on triggers we should be able to do the actions. So what we did there was we actually engaged the concerned teams who actually had those measures on which we had to define the triggers as their KPI. So when they are the one who are affected or questioned about that KPI going down or up, so we need to engage them, because if we do not engage them, we cannot build the story, because they have their side that they actually go through when achieving those KPIs, right? So it's the most important part, that whatever you make, you should have an ability to explain or tell a story which will actually make it sell to the audience.
ठीक है, थैंक यू। एक और चीज़ के समटाइम्स आपके और जो ये ऑडियंस है उसके बारे में आपको नहीं पता। फॉर एग्जांपल मतलब कोई भी एक EVP लेवल आता है, GM लेवल आता है, वो आपको एक बता देते हैं कि जी मुझे एक एनालिसिस करके पता है कि जी मेरी सेल्स इस वक्त कहाँ पे है। अब वो फर्स्ट टाइम इंटरेक्शन आप उसके साथ कर रहे हो, यू डोंट नो कि उसको क्या कलर्स, उसकी चॉइस क्या है, या उसको ज़्यादातर कैसी चीज़ अट्रैक्ट करती है। तो वो सिंपल उसने एक रिक्वायरमेंट भेज दी है कि मुझे सेल्स के एनालिसिस चाहिए, मुझे करके बताएं कि वो क्या होगा। तो उस पॉइंट इन टाइम में क्या लाइन चार्ट्स को दिखाना चाहिए, बार चार्ट्स को दिखाना चाहिए?
I guess generally what the level you're talking of, it's the level which is probably the highest level within the organizations, and generally they value the time the most. So there are two things to it. For example, if someone tells me he's EVP or VP or someone, that they want to look into something because of something went wrong and they want to look at it quick. So first thing that I have to have in mind is that I have to deliver it well in time. I don't have to spend extra time in making it visually more pleasing and something like that. So generally in such cases, the best approach is to go with simplistic visuals, bar chart, line chart, pie chart, something like that. Or maybe you can have a grid where you have maybe color coding on the threshold set, where what value is higher, what is lower, something like that. So those are the things that you do. Again, generally one thing which is most important, which you learn with your experience, which I have learned certain things with my experience, but they are not absolute. They may not work in the different organizational setting because people expect different things. So the most important thing is what he has asked. For example, he has asked you about sales dropping. Okay. So what you need to know is the scope, the goal, the scope of the work that you need to do. So when he says sale dropping, probably he wants to know why they are dropping. He doesn't want to see them dropping. So you'll have to go 1 or 2 levels deeper than that to see where the issue was that they are dropping. Because if you do not go to that level, he already knows this thing, that sales are dropping. He wants to know why they are dropping actually. So these are the things that you answer, they are not absolute. They are different in different settings. You'll be working with different people. You'll be asked same question from different people. They'll be expecting different output. So it's something like that.
Okay, thank you. Please carry on.
Thank you. Yes, Kashif. Kashif, do you want to ask something? Okay, let's then move to the next section where we'll be looking on some market leading VA tools. So this is the Garden Quadrant from February 2020. We have the recent ones as well. But the tools that we are covering, they have pretty much the same position. MicroStrategy still remains in the challengers quadrant even till date, and Tableau still remains on second, and Microsoft still remains on the first one. I myself generally am not quite fond of these surveys or things, because these are again, these are limited to what they reach or what questions they ask and all. Because if you get into details in the enterprise category, you'll see MicroStrategy on the top, and the others one will be trailing by a great margin. So, and if we see Microsoft is leading, it's probably because they are offering the desktop version free of cost. There's no license required until or unless you want to connect to the web or Power BI service. And Tableau was, it has always been the market leader for visual analytics. It used to be the only tool maybe many years back. So, and now currently you see like Looker, Tableau, Click, there are many tools coming in. SAP also, SAS also has their BI tool. So these things generally do not matter much. I would suggest if someone wants to pursue a career, they should not look for that they want to master Microsoft, Tableau, MicroStrategy, Looker, Tableau, or Click. They should generally focus on this thing that what is the process of achieving insights from the raw data. So that process, that life cycle, that is the most important part instead of the technology, because if you know any of these technologies, you can get savvy with any other technologies maybe in less than a week's time maybe. But obviously to master some technology, it takes some time. Yes, and Tanzania.
Thank you so much. Actually, I'm very new to this field in information visualization, and currently I'm working on a research article. I need to ask you, actually, you are narrating Tableau on and on. I'm using an online tool that is named as HireChart. I guess you heard about this. But I need to ask you, in HireChart, I'm just like in JavaScript, and in that code, I just customize my units and it generates the visualization. In the Tableau, we need to code it, or it's just a visual aiding tool. Actually, I'm not familiar with this Tableau. Can you please guide
Actually,
me?
we'll from this in next section, we'll probably be moving to those tools as well. And yes, in Tableau or these main like the top tools, BI tools, in these tools, you generally do not need to code. You actually just need to add your data from any data source, may it be Excel or any data warehouse, any place. You add the data, you do the data crunching, and you make visuals on the go. You just need to drag and drop. You have the list of visuals on the right side, which will based on that, you can choose which visual you want to build and all those things. So it's without the coding thing, because it's again, the aim here is whenever these tools, Tableau, Power and Power BI mostly say that we are promote self-service BI, we are self-service BI technology and all that. So their aim here is to engage the business user who do not have any technical background to achieve their day-to-day tasks and deliverables without being dependent on any technical side. So that's why they do not require coding.
In this particular session, are we going to hands-on something on this Tableau?
Yes, I'll actually cover 3 tools. MicroStrategy, Tableau, and Microsoft. Obviously, it's a small session. We cannot cover entire. Even I won't know many things. So I will give you an overview of what the tool is, how it works, or we'll make few visuals and look at how they perform. And like I'll probably familiarize you people with what's the interface of those tools.
All right. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Anyone else wants to ask something?
One more thing, Khalid, in this particular session, are you going to introduce about these tools and their just main look and feel, or just we'll practice, or we'll walk through from some small mini size example in Tableau or Microsoft?
Actually, the kind of visualization that we see, we have seen in the session, we have covered. Few of them I will cover, like one in Tableau, one in MicroStrategy, one in Power BI. So I'll probably cover basics. Obviously, in our session, we cannot cover the tool, but it will give you a glimpse of how in the things are structured, where is what, and how to use that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wants to ask anything? Farooq, I guess you were asking something.
Yes, thank you. Actually, I just wanted to add that, about the previous question, that regarding the coding. At the very basic level, yes, we can we can pull the data source and apply our business logic. Just as you said that for the business users, they can just pull the data source and do visualization with that. But I think that in order to achieve advanced expertise, we can add SQL as a data source, and then write stored procedures or SQL queries to present more advanced details or advanced queries or complex queries to pull complex data. The code does involve in
Okay.
at
Yes,
advanced level.
you're right. In many cases it does, and then there are many cases you won't. For example, if you are working in an organization which has their own team, which is looking into these things, so they'll probably have enabled these things, these coding things, the data connectivity things, and all that. For example, you are using MicroStrategy or Tableau or Power BI. You'll already have data sources populated on the server side, and you'll probably be using those things. So it's probably, yes, if you have data that is to be extracted from data, then some database, and you do not know, you do not have any connection or data source already made, then probably you'll have to do those things, the query writing and all those things.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, let's move forward to the tools actually. Muhammad Rizwan, you want to ask something?
अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर।
वालेकुम अस्सलाम।
सर ये पावर बीआई डेवलपर के लिए कौन कौन सी स्किल्स का होना लाजमी है, मतलब सर कौन कौन सी स्किल्स स्ट्रांग होनी चाहिए?
थोड़ा एलैबोरेट करोगे आप कि व्हेन यू से कौन सी स्किल, व्हाट यू मीन बाय दैट?
सर मतलब डेटा को किस तरह हैंडल करते हैं, उसमें कौन कौन सी हमें सोर्सेज यूज करना पड़ती हैं, और किस तरह हम इस डेटा को मैनेज करके इसकी रिपोर्ट्स बना रहे होते हैं?
Okay, one thing that is a must for any BI tool or any visual analytics tool, that is understanding of your data. Because if you don't know your data, you cannot even bring the right data in your tool. So it's generally, that is the must. You need to know what data you have and what you can achieve out of that. And obviously, if you don't have any central data repository or something, then you'll need to know how to bring that data in as well. Okay, let's move forward to see the look and feel of these tools. I'll just cancel it. Okay. Let me know when you can see this, see the screen. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. This is MicroStrategy Workstation. This is the interface that you have. There are many things that you can do in this tool because MicroStrategy is an enterprise level tool and it offers a lot of things. So in this, we are only covering the desktop version, MicroStrategy desktop, that is MicroStrategy Workstation. And what you do is it starts with this dossier. Whatever you build in it, they call it dossier. Like Tableau calls it story and dashboard, and MicroStrategy calls it dossier. So we click on this plus button, and it opens a window where you can create a new dossier. So this is the interface. These are the contents. MicroStrategy has made it in a manner that it's like if you read a book, you have chapters and then pages in that book, that chapter. So it has chapters and then pages. And this is where you add data set. These are the values you add for visuals. And like this is where your visual will appear. This is the filter. These are the formattings that you do for the visuals. So let's make quickly that network visualization that we explored in the data. There are many data sources that MicroStrategy can connect. Like it's a huge number of data sources that probably it can connect to most of the things that exist out there. So in our case, we'll be resorting to the Excel file. We go to the Excel file. We go data sets. Okay. We yearly regional, we use this, probably maybe this data will have. So when you add the data, after that you click prepare data. And if you see, MicroStrategy has smartly identified that these are the dimensions and these are the metrics measures. And at the same time, because it's a geo attribute country, so it has already identified that it is a geo attribute. So if your data is not clean, you can go wrangle the data and do things. We have a clean data, so we won't have to go there. Okay. Finish. Now we have the data populated there. So it's no. Now what we do here is that we have this data set that we added in the datasets panel, and here on the top we have this icon where we can add in visualizations. There are grids, bars, line chart, pie chart, map, many things that you can add custom, and MicroStrategy offers these complex visualization and a box plot, histogram, and things. So we'll go with this network visualization that we want to implement. This one to be maybe delete. Where is delete? Okay, so there we have. So as we discussed, there is a from and there is a to. It will be initiating from one and ending at the other. So what we do here is that we put region as the from item, and we put call center as to item. So what we see here is there are too many conditions that are there now. Then we put revenue as edge. Okay, so like we can put profit as edge size. Okay, and then we can put profit margin as item size. Okay, the profit margin is now reflecting as the size of item. So now this is made, but we cannot, like, you cannot identify many things. For example, we limit it to something. Here maybe we want to filter it on something, or we might want to add a filter selection where we can select some of the regions. Here we are added in 3 regions. Okay, so now what more we can do is there is this format area. We can change the node type, node size, and things. For example, we select what node we want to change. From nodes, we want to change their shape. We can put square, diamond, hexagon. I guess hexagon will be better. So these, now visually I can see that these are the nodes which is where things are initiating from. And this is fine, automatic. Data labels, we want them. Yes, we want them. And this is better to have data labels, though we can have them by hovering over. So on the layout, we go and show edge direction. We want to see where the edge is starting and where the edge is ending, because it is always better to know, although we know that these are different for different things, but it's better to have the edge direction as well. So What else we can change here? Legend we can initiate. Now, by the legend, we can see that percentage of revenue is reflected by the color. Okay, and profit is represented by the edge size. The thicker the edge size, the higher the profit. And profit, like it should be profit margin. I guess I changed it. Item size should be by profit margin. We want item size to be by profit margin. So because margin is a different thing compared to profit. So next we can go see the text and formatting. If we want to change, do we want to change the color fill of the nodes? Yes, we want to change the from node color, maybe to maybe we want it to be green. Okay, and maybe we want the outline to be green as well. So now it's different, and we can choose two nodes color, and we can maybe change to this. Now it's different, and we actually want to show the data labels, and that's about it. Legend is required. Like you can change the visualization title here. What is it? It is profit by what we say region and call center, something like that. So this is what our visualization is. We can see from central we have there are two call centers. One is Milwaukee and one is Fargo, and the most of the revenue value edge is representing the profit. The profit is coming from Milwaukee in the central region, and Fargo is giving the lesser value. So this is how you make, and there are many, obviously there are many other things you can build in this MicroStrategy tool. It's a free tool. You can just download it. You have to put your email ID and you can use it. So this was it about MicroStrategy. Yes, you want to ask something, Tazania?
Thank you so much, Khalid. It's really very user friendly, and as I had a question, like it's free, and you have already answered that it's free and easy to download. One question is, please, can you guide me if like I want to take its print for my article, what would be the mechanism to take its image and take a print?
Like, can you repeat the question? You want that you create a visual and then use it for your article, something like that?
Exactly. I want to use this visual as a printable format to paste it in my article.
So in that case, you can probably, if you want just the picture, you can just use the sniping tool and you can cut the picture maybe.
Okay, like I need to take
Like
a screenshot for this purpose. It's not providing any PNG image.
You'll just have to go to the start menu and create sniping tool and open and click on. Like, I hope you have used sniping tool before. If not, I can show you that.
I only familiar with this screenshot taking.
Okay, I'll just show that. Just a second. Just a second, I'll open it and I'll share it with you. Can you see the screen now?
Yes.
Here you can see this sniping tool, right?
Right.
Okay, so what you'll have to do is you'll go to the start menu and type sniping tool, okay?
Okay.
And then when you have this visual created, okay, you can just click on new and it will like blur the screen, and you can choose the portion on the screen that you want to capture. For example, if I do it for you here, just a second, here it is. You can see that, right?
I'm sorry, I have just your sniping tool in front of me and new
Just a
selected.
sec. Can you see it now?
Yes, yes, I'm watching.
So this is the visual that we created, and now we have created the picture of that.
All right, all right, all right.
So
Thanks.
just you just type sniping tool in Windows start menu, and you will find it. You can get picture of pretty much everything that you have on the screen.
Okay, thank you so much. It was a new thing for me. I learned.
Thank you. No problem. Okay, now let's get back to where we were. So like now we have created this visual for network visualization for profit by region and call center. It has not only profit revenue information as well and profit margin information as well. So now we'll probably move to the next one. Anyone want to ask any question here?
Yeah, I have a generic question. I'm asking too much right now, if that's okay.
No problem. Ask your question.
Yeah. So I want to know that if visualization is a career option, if we take it as a career option, but we have to go through like DWH, how much we go in deep into DWH, because we have to get data from DWH or some data source. So I just
see, there are two perspectives to anything. Whenever you are on any team, you might be on business side or you might be on technical side. If you are on technical side, you need to have a good hold of data warehouse, maybe, or whatever technology they are using. They might have only big data or something like that. So whatever technology they are using, you have to have good hold of that, because you are on technical side. You need to build the data yourself, and then you need to build the dashboards and reports for people around in the market, in the organization. But if you are on the business side, for example, how we implemented back in UFON, we implemented self-service BI on MicroStrategy in a manner that everything was pretty much, every data point was pretty much drag and drop for a business user, and it was available for the business unit. For example, anything that you can think of, sales related, franchise related, region related, revenue related, uptake related, product related, data usage related, everything was there in the self-service environment as a data source for them. So they were only using it as a drag drop. So if you want your career to be on the technical side with these BI tools, then you probably need to have at least this much understanding of SQL that you can manipulate the data to bring it into the form that you want to use in your visuals. Because that's the only way you'll be able to do so, because mostly you'll be getting data from either data warehouse, maybe, or you will be doing web scraping or something like that. So without that, you won't be able to achieve that. But if you are focusing to be on the commercial side and you want to be a good analyst, and for that also you need to know how to visualize data. In that case, you pretty much do not want to have too hardcore scripting or SQL or data warehousing skills.
Okay, thank you.
I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, let's move to maybe Tableau. Let's move, I'll close this one, and now we move to Tableau. Here it is. So whenever you open Tableau,
question है
Walaikum Assalam. Yes.
सर सबसे बेस्ट विजुअलाइजेशन टूल कौन सा है, मतलब हमें किस पे काम करना चाहिए, ये कंपनी की रिक्वायरमेंट होती है?
Sir, it's actually not about company's requirement. For example, if you apply to some organization and they have some visualization tool, maybe they have Power BI or Tableau or MicroStrategy, so probably they would want a person जिसको उनके बारे में कुछ पता हो, because that person will be much more plug and play than any other person, क्योंकि उसको उस technology का idea है. So it's generally that as I started and I said, we should not focus on the technology, we should focus on the process. You need to learn how you achieve the final outcome. If you know that understanding or mastering any technology, probably these VA tools, probably you'll be able to deliver something on any VA tool, maybe after learning of 1 or 2 weeks time, अगर आप dedicatedly उनके ऊपर time spend करते हो.
Okay, sir.
Everyone can see my screen, Tableau desktop. I have opened that.
We can see it.
Okay. So whenever you open Tableau desktop, this is what you see. This is the interface. You can add data. The commonly used data sources are listed here to a file or something like that. So we have to go for Microsoft Excel. So we click here, and then we go for we choose this file, product sales analysis. So now when I click it, it's building the data. And what Tableau does is it has brought in both the sheet, customer sheet as well as sales sheet that were there in the Excel file. So I click on sales analysis sheet and it has opened this file. So now how it works in Tableau is Tableau makes you build the sheets, and then there is dashboard, and then there is this is sheet, this is dashboard, and then there is a story. So I myself have never worked with stories, so I cannot comment more on that, but it includes more dashboards in it, probably, I don't know. So if we go to the sheet thing, sheet is you build the sheets, you can make one visual on that sheet, and then you consume it in the dashboard. So we go to the sheet. Well, I clicked on the new sheet, so it's offering me, it's already created one sheet. So what we see here is it has also smartly identifies category, what are the measures and what are, so cost, profit, and revenue. It has also smartly identified that these are the measures. And category, customer, day, city, month, subcategory, these are the, what we say, dimensions that we have in the data. So what we start in, we'll probably be building a bubble chart here in the Tableau. We go to the column, category, and subcategory. So when we go to the right side, we see show me as the options of the visualization that it offers. So first we need to add maybe revenue. So now the kind of visualizations that we can use with this data setting, when we have two categories and one measure, are these. Like we can make this, we can make pie, we can make bar charts, we can make heat map, we can make circle charts, something like that, box plot, and we are intending to make here a bubble chart. So we click on it. So what it has done is it has put category and subcategory in the tooltip, and it has colored the data by category, but I don't want the data to be colored by category. I want the data to be colored by cost. So what I'll do is I move the cost on this. So what it has done now is that now the data is colored by cost, and the size, sorry, and the size, the greater the size represents the greater revenue value. Okay, because or we can change the size by putting profit here. So now the size is by profit. We can add what all we have, cost and profit. Now we can add revenue to the tooltip. So whenever I hover over anything, so now it is showing me electronics as a category and miscellaneous as subcategory. Electronics as category, computer as subcategory, and cost, profit, and revenue. Revenue is not actually visually reflected in this visualization. That is reflected when I hover over it, and it shows what is the revenue. What is reflected visually is the profit, that is making the size, and cost. It is for the color. The color, the greater, the darker the color, the greater the cost. So that's what it does. We can click on heat map, and now it's just on a single click, it has moved this to heat map. So if you want to add generally, for example, when to use a heat map or a bubble chart. If you want to add one single visualization on full length of a page, you have more space, you'll probably go for a heat map because it's more descriptive, it has more detail, it's more ordered. Okay. And if you want to have, you have lesser space and you want to have two visuals side by side, you want to use lesser space to show more information, you'll go for a bubble chart and something like that. So anything about this? Yes, Tazani.
Thank you so much, Khalid. Can you please guide me what to do if I add to if I want to add the legend of this particular visualization in Tableau?
I think I'll have to look for it. I don't remember on the go. Just a second, maybe.
Okay.
Okay. Where is it? Line marks. So you have to enable the legend from this format option. You have to enable the legend from this format option. Okay. And you enable this option, and then obviously if I put like as I already put was what I put was the cost. I cross it, I put the cost initially for color. So in that case, it shows the range, what color moves to what. And if I put category to this, it will show this. For example, if I put subcategory, it will show this as the legend value.
All right. And one more thing, I guess I have missed. From which step when you opened Tableau, I missed the point from which option you come to the option that is sheets, and then you start making visualizations.
Okay. Whenever you, for example, I go add new data source, I'll select the data source, for example, Excel, and then I will add the data source and it will open this place, right? It will bring to me to this data source. Here, by default, it will open this sheet one. Okay. Whenever you add a data source, it will open sheet one by default. If you want to add more sheets, you can just come click here, new worksheet. If you want to add a dashboard, you will come to this. And if you want to add a story, you'll click this. That's how it works.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Jazakallah. Okay, now moving on to Power BI. Let me open it. Can everyone see my screen?
Okay. Yep, we can.
Yes, sir. It's visible.
So we'll build a heat map visualization in Power BI. So first we can go here and get data, or we have to go to Excel, so we can directly click here, import data from Excel, and we click product sales analysis. So now we have to choose which sheet we want to load. We'll probably load sales analysis. If you want to transform the data, we can click here and it will open the Power Query where it will transform the data. So currently we do not want to do that. We just want to move forward with the data. Okay, it has lost all because I did not save. I opened wrong file, sorry. I hope you can see the screen because I changed the sharing criteria maybe. So I'll load the data, and now it's just getting loaded. And in Tableau, one thing that you need to do first is you cannot choose the visualization first and then add the data points. You'll have to add the data points and then choose which visual you want to show those data points in. But in MicroStrategy or Power BI, you can actually choose the visualization. For example, we can click here, remap. Now what we do is we'll add, this is showing what we want to add. This is group, details, values, tooltips, and so on. So we come here, we want to see category and city-wise data, subcategory actually. We add category and then subcategory to group. So it's in wrong column. I have to go up. Category, subcategory. Now it's not showing anything because I have not added any value. So I put profit as values. And now I move it. And I can put details as revenue, and I can put maybe cost as tooltips. So details has made it more complicated. It's just showing a lot of detail inside. So we probably want to remove it. So that's how it is. Now what we do is we expand it to appear, to fit the page. Now you can see, now if I go here, we want to enable the legends. So legends are enabled. No, I don't want legends. We want data labels actually. So now if you see, now what we have is Power BI does one smart thing as well. That is profit and cost by subcategory. It gives the name of to visual based on what you have put in the different fields. So it understands by looking at it that it's profit and cost by subcategory, that we are looking subcategory wise profit and cost. So now what we see here is video equipment. We have, when we hover over it, we can see the profit cost as well. So that's how it is. We can put what is the revenue to the tooltips as well. So when we hover over it now, we can see the profit, cost, and revenue. So this is how it works. And like again in Power BI, also you can just click on something and it will change the visualization type. You just need to choose the visualization. You click back, it brings back to the normal what you wanted to do. You click here, it will be something. No, this one doesn't make sense. We'll go back to this one. So this is pretty much it regarding these tools. So anyone want to ask something here?
Which tool do you prefer? They are so similar.
Yes, you are pretty much right that primarily they are only made to be drag and drop tools. So what happens is that the choice of tools, if you are choosing it for an organization, is based on the budget that you have, what deliverable you want to achieve. For example, the most complex visualizations that I could see with a free license were in MicroStrategy. I do not have box plot here. I do not even have bubble chart here. Same is the case with Tableau. I do not have many visualizations in a free variants. Tableau in fact doesn't offer the free version. Tableau is licensed. So it's for an organization, it's a subjective question which they'll have to answer based on what they want to achieve and what is their budget and what is their desire and all that, what they can trade off for. And for myself, if you ask me, because you may consider me biased toward MicroStrategy, I have worked a lot on MicroStrategy, and I have found it to be very comprehensive and thorough. Because what we are working here is pretty much maybe 10% of what MicroStrategy is, but these tools are for Tableau and Power BI are mainly for this. So MicroStrategy offers enterprise level solutions. It offers a lot of things other than this. So I prefer MicroStrategy, but that's again because I have worked mostly on it. So that was about the tools. I guess I think you people might have had some flavor of it. If you want to add some information or some of your feedback or something, I'll be happy to hear that. And
I have a last question, Khalid.
yes.
Among these three tools, what I have understood, Tableau is a licensed one, MicroStrategy and Power BI are free. Am I right?
Yes. Yes. Basically, when you go on organizational or enterprise level, none of these are free. But MicroStrategy is offering their workstation free, which we are using here. We can use it to do anything without any license. So for Power BI, again, we want to use for only our sole purpose, we can use it. It doesn't require a license. But if we want to have an organization-wide implementation, then we need to have a license. And for Tableau, we cannot even have for user, for individual use, but I think they do give consideration to students if they come up with their own student ID and login. So they probably give them a year-long license.
All right.
Else it is
one more question associated with my previous question. Do these tools have a cloud-based version as well? Can we use it on cloud as well?
Can you repeat what version?
Sorry, cloud-based version. Are they having cloud-based version? Or
Okay, I will say generally whenever I won't say cloud-based, I would say web-based version, because for example, if I have to implement any self-service BI solution in any organization, it will have to have connectivity through web. So every single one of these tools has web connectivity, because what we are doing here, like in Power BI, we cannot even create a dashboard in this desktop version. We'll have to use these visuals and pin in our dashboard on a web platform. Same will be with Tableau. Similarly in MicroStrategy, when you have to enable for your business user, you'll have to enable on the web. So it's whenever you go for organization-wide implementation, you always have a desktop version as well as web version.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So let's move to next thing, and that is what we do here is I'll just share the slides where we were at. So we have like covered Tableau, Power BI, and MicroStrategy to a very basic level. Obviously, there is a lot to them. One thing that I can help you people with is, for example, let me just do that. I will. Let's go to the web browser, and I can share you people their learning paths. For example, if we see MicroStrategyEducation.com, how we can learn that. If you people are interested in learning MicroStrategy, you people can see my web browser, right?
Yes.
Yes, it's visible, sir.
Okay, so this is MicroStrategy.com /English/education. So MicroStrategy offers two kind of streams. One is analyst pass, and the other is architect pass. Sorry. So architect pass is not what we covered today. It's very complicated. It is for the enterprise level version of MicroStrategy. It's not free. It's all licensed. And then there is Analyst Pass. Analyst Pass covers one data science certification and one analyst certification, and one is developer. So developer certification is not required for those who want to pursue their career in data visualization, because it is to deal with look and feel of overall web implementation of MicroStrategy. And data science, obviously, if you want to do, you can, but preferably this is the right path, the analyst path. So it covers pretty much this workstation thing that I showed briefly. It covers that. And it can, if someone wants to have a good skill in MicroStrategy, they should preferably resort to that. Or you can probably reach out to DICE that if they offer some courses, they're probably helpful for you people. Then Tableau learning, like there is a server stream as well for Tableau, and then there is a desktop stream. We have covered desktop, so we should focus on that. There are 3 types of certificate. One is specialist. It is pretty basic. And the things that we did today, you will cover in this. Certified, like this is, then there is, this is specialist, and then after this, there is associate, certified associate desktop. So in that, obviously, you get into more detail, how to create measures, what measures to create, what formulas to be used, how to do time series adjustments and something like that. So that if you want to get a good hands-on of Tableau basic level, then you should go for specialist, and later you can go for the other ones. And for Power BI, there is, I'll probably add these links in the description if this video is added to the YouTube channel. So Power BI actually, this is the pricing. This will come later. First, we need to go for the certification parts. So the Power BI, actually, there is one certification stream, that is DA 100. It is an exam. I think if you go, because of COVID, they reduced some price for that as well. You can probably appear in $15 price. You can learn for it from different channels, and this will actually help you. Like you can, if you know what we covered today, or all visualization, when to use what, and basics of DAX, which is the scripting language in Power BI, then you can clear this certification as well pretty well. Now we go to the licensing of these softwares. If we may cover that. So MicroStrategy licensing is pretty complicated because it has too many products. Like it's products are bifurcated in client, server, driver, and gateway, platform, cloud, education, mobile, consulting. So it's different things that they are. For example, I click here, report, web, mobile. So its licenses generally service and user base. For example, I can have a 5 mobile licenses and 20 analyst licenses. So it's a combo of that. So it's an organization level thing that they do. So they benchmark on the basis of those. And if we go to the Tableau pricing, Tableau pricing is also, Tableau offers individual pricing. If you see, Tableau individual pricing is very expensive. It is $70 per month. That is to be per user, that is to be billed on annual basis. So if we go for organization wide, then it is pretty different. Again, for Tableau creator, they still ask $70, but those who will only be exploring, manipulating the data and would not be going to the data sources, they will probably resort to Tableau Explorer, and who will manipulate the data but not go to the data source. And those who will only view and add the comments, and for example, the top management, GM can add a comment, an action comment for someone in the team to do so. So they will be on Tableau Viewer probably. That's how it works. And now finally we go to see pricing of Microsoft Power BI. Okay. Power BI Pro per user, you will get $9.99. For example, you will get a Pro license for $120 a month per user. And Power BI Premium, which covers the Power BI service and all those things, it will offer $20 per month, which will be $240 per annum. And this is a organization, like this is a combo kind of license. I don't know much details about it, but this is for the organization which want to enable for maybe more than 400, 500 or something like that people. So that's about it. Now let's move to the next section, and that is that we have covered these things, and now we need to know in this phase we'll probably be discussing things instead of me telling you people.
Khalid,
This
I have
is
a question.
yes.
Among these all versions that you have narrated so far, in terms of dollars, which version you demonstrated us today? They were trial of these all three tools?
Tableau was trial of Tableau desktop. Okay. Power BI was obviously, as I told you, Power BI was free version, that is Power BI desktop. It doesn't have connectivity to the web version where Power BI service is involved and you can publish that what you build and other people can access from there. So desktop version is free, but if you want that you build a thing and put it on web and someone can see, then you need to have a license in Power BI. Same is the case with MicroStrategy. In MicroStrategy, this MicroStrategy workstation, I can build n number of dossier and I can have and use them here. Even I can send them to anyone by email. But if I want them to be published to some library, MicroStrategy library, and where I want that all those people who have access to that library, they can come see the dossier and put their comments. And so it's a to and fro communication as well. And it's the data on the go as well, or insights on the go. For that, you have to have license. And at the same time, there is an entire MicroStrategy suite, which offers a lot of more things, which obviously we cannot cover even in maybe 4 or 5 days session. It's a big thing. So that's about it.
Okay, thank you.
So finally, before we conclude, I would want to ask the most important question which most people actually want to have answered, that is how to build a career in data analytics. So can I ask you people that do you have something that you like, do you understand how we can approach, or what do you want to add your understanding after the webinar? Anyone? Farooq?
Yeah, so in data analytics, there are many, what you can say, niches, in which first we came across data engineering, in which we have DWH, and then we have this PI and reporting section. Then we have prediction, like machine learning section, and at the last we have OOPS related concept. So that's all about analytics. And I thought that this visualization thing is only at first I think that it's only come after the predictions and after predicting something, or we apply a machine learning algorithm. Now I have this concept that we can use it first. We can have a relationship between the predictors as well. So yeah, that's my learning.
Perfect. That's great, actually. Yes, you're absolutely right. We need to visualize before, we need to visualize after. It's an ongoing process. Like even if we look for the data science life cycle, there are many phases when we started. For example, we build the data, we go score it, and then we go back to the start because we want to change something. So it's the same with visualization, because visualization is core to the BI, and BI is before you go for any predictive model or anything, because you need to have insights to the data before going for a model or something like that. So Abbas, would you want to add something?
जी थैंक यू सो मच जी फॉर दिस ऑल द नॉलेज जो आपने शेयर की माशाल्लाह से। ओके मैं जस्ट ये ऐड करूंगा कि जो मुझे इसमें समझ ये आई है कि जैसे अभी बताया उन्होंने कि पहले इससे पहले डाटा वेयर हाउसिंग है, लेकिन जो हमारे जैसा बैकग्राउंड जिनका हो, जिनका फाइनेंस का हो, तो उनके लिए ये है कि जो सेल्स का डाटा है या जो हमारे पास फाइनेंस का डाटा आता है उसको हम विजुलाइज कर सकते हैं टूल्स के जरिए, राइट। लेकिन अगर हमने प्योरली डाटा साइंस के अंदर कैरियर डेवलप करना है बिल्कुल एक हटके, तो देन वी हैव टू आल्सो build our skills in data warehousing and all these things. Am I right, Ji?
Yes, actually, what I'll say is you need to have data visualization skills, not only to be in data warehousing field. You need to have this to showcase what you have done, to sell what you have done. For example, I cannot go to a person who is maybe 2 levels senior to me and tell him that, okay, this is the data and we have done. So I'll probably build a visualization which will be depicting the insights that I want him to know. So I'll probably go on it that way and build the visualization and go on that. So that's about it. Thanks for your feedback.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Ahmad, will you want to add something?
No, Khalid, I'm good.
So, anyone else want to add something? Yes, Farooq.
Okay, thank you. So, can we simplify it like that from careers point of view? That if there are two positions, like one is BI analyst and the other one is BI developer. So, can we say that if BI analyst, we can call to someone who can add an Excel file or any data source and just pull the data from the data source and drag and drop the matrix or attributes from that file and just slice and dice the data to present to any like management, higher management. And comparatively, we can call a BI developer to someone who can go deep inside and apply code, SQL code, or write stored procedures to further find insights from the data. Can we distinguish from the career point of view this way?
Yes,
like
I
BI
can.
analyst and BI developer.
I got your point, but unfortunately, people hiring out there, they want everything that you should know. They generally put everything in the BI analyst domain job description as well as in the BI developer job description. So it's pretty, and there is no hard line that we can draw. But to say so, like to be an analyst, generally you need not have that hardcore technical skills compared to the ones that you would need as a developer or data engineering stream or something like that. Yes, Tazan.
Fine, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Khalid. As you were asking about the importance of these tools or these concepts of visualization in professional environment. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a researcher and I'm educationist as well. I can relate that these tools, I was actually attending these all sessions, particularly this session, with the perspective of writing research articles. And these tools are literally is a blessing, because when we have a data and we don't know how to summarize and synthesize our findings in a proper visual format, then it's a pain. And this session was so fruitful for me, because before this session I was just familiar with the high charts that is used for the data visualizations. But after this session I have come to know that there is there is a world of many tools that aid in particular stakes.
Perfect. Thanks for your feedback. I'm glad that you could understand a lot of things. And Bethany, will you want to add something? Okay. I guess no one wants to ask anything more. So let me just conclude it with what I have to add here. In my personal opinion, to build a career in data analytics, it's the one most important thing is that you need to have the desire for building things visually. For example, you should be willing to leave all those textual or those contexts aside and data grids and all those things aside and wanting to depict them in a graphical manner. For example, like I'm in this domain for 7 to 8 years now, and I will want to narrate one experience that I have before even getting in this, and that is from my university life. We were going through, we were in 7th semester, we were studying technical report writing. And there was this teacher, that professor, who actually gave a quiz actually in the class, where he mentioned that you need to write in a manner that someone who has joined the university anew, you should write that all the steps that he needs to follow to reach the classroom that he has to be part of. So I missed the last lecture, so I was not actually aware of how to write and all that. So I was sitting and I thought it's better I draw a map instead of writing the steps or points. So what I did was I drew a map of the campus block, and put different tags at different points and different arrows which were pointing to go and approach different places. So I was expecting that I have been asked for textual writing or something, so I'll probably get no good grades, but it's better to do what I know how to do. So to my amusement, I got good grades as well, and it was acknowledged by the professor. So that is where I got to know that there were people who had written too many points, but they did not get good grades because when you put a lot of information in text, it's difficult to retain all those things. When you have visual, it's always there in front of you and you can follow on just by moving your head left or right. You just do not need to focus on things. So that's one little experience that I wanted to share, and that's about it. Ahmad Tausif wants to add something. Yes, Ahmad.
Hello, can you listen?
Yes, okay.
Okay, I want to ask, this session is on recording, so how can we have it later on if someone wants to watch it later on? So
I guess
is there any...
probably Dice Analytics will put it on their YouTube channel.
Let me add this.
We'll add
Actually,
the video to our YouTube channel as well, Ahmed, and also you can find the video on LinkedIn on our page. We were live at LinkedIn as well. If you want the link to Zoom recording specifically, you can email us at info@diceanalytics.pk. I am sharing the email in the chat, so you can email us there. Yeah.
So does anyone want to ask anything, or we should conclude for today? Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. Jazakallah.
All
Thank
right.
you,
Thank
everyone.
you so much, Emma.
All right. So that's all
will
about.
conclude the webinar.
Okay.
Thank you for your time, everyone.
All right.
And
So that's all about the webinar. Thank you so much, Mr. Khalid Ahmad. We had a great time
Jazakallah.
on this webinar with you. To all the attendees, you guys can email us for the recording or any queries regarding our trainings at info@diceanalytics.pk. Email is mentioned in the chat section, so you guys can email us. Thank you so much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.
Everyone, Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.